of UFOs, and upon the earth distress of nations. And we see that every nation on this planet is in distress, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Men's hearts, okay, meaning your mind, failing them for fear and for looking for those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. This is a future prophecy which have not happened yet. Because when Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, makes his second return in this time, in this generation, it's going to be in what the world calls a UFO. And it's going to be the biggest UFO of them all. Okay? You can read the book of Psalms 104, verse 2 on down, and they'll tell you who maketh his clouds the chariots, roughly paraphrasing. The chariots are what the world ignorantly calls UFOs. And there's going to be many other UFOs being piloted by angels that's going to be with Yahushua when he makes his second return. Michael is going to be in what the world calls a UFO when he makes his return with Yahushua. Okay, so this is a future prophecy which have not happened, but people is going to be seeing Yahushua in these last days, and they're going to be terrified because most people is going to think it's an alien invasion. Some people is going to know that it's Yahushua, the Son of the Most High, and they're going to know they messed up. Okay, then you just got some that's just going to bug out at the appearing of Yahushua. But then you got some that's going to rejoice and be glad, such as the Lord's elect, because they're going to know and understand that it is Yahushua making his second return. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Okay? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. And the Most High and his Son, they're not going to come down here and tell you personally about future events. Okay? They're going to tell you by speaking through the mouth of his prophets. Where can the Lord's prophets be found at? They can be found on YouTube. They can be found out there on the highways and hedges. Okay? You know, some of them have the title of GMS, but at the end of the day, we are all GMS. Okay? There's no such thing as a spiritual GMS. No, we are all GMS at the end of the day, whether if we have GMS on our title or not. And the Lord's going to speak through the men that follow the same teachings as the apostles of GMS, that follow the same teachings as the elders of GMS. So the Lord is going to speak by the mouth of his prophets. And a matter of fact, scriptures say, prove all things, right? And you always got some bug out, big lip nigga that want to come on the comment board. Well, prove it then. Or prove it. You prove that the Most High speaks through men. This is the book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse, let me see, let me go back here. Okay, so this is Luke, the first chapter, right? Let's scroll down here. So this is the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 68. Blessed be the Lord, so that you know that it's talking about Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai, the power of Israel, for he had visited and redeemed his people. and have raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, and they're still here today. So where's these Christians getting this idea that John was the last prophet? Okay. What about Peter? What about Paul? Okay. Okay. What about James? What about Jude? What about John the Revelator? What do you think the book of Revelation was about? What do you think the book of Revelation is about? You think it's all about, you think it's only about past events? No, it's about future events too. So John the Baptist was not the last prophet. And John the Revelator was not the last prophet either. The prophets are still here today. I read it in the book of Daniel. Oh, well, not really, but I'm going to. Okay, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. Okay, did not the Lord say that before they spring forth, I tell you of them? So before the Lord brings judgment on a country, he always sends his prophets out there to warn you. That's why it tells you in Ezekiel, let me just get it real quick. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. So, well, now why would the Lord have, and now Ezekiel was also a prophet. Now why would the Lord have Ezekiel give his people warning? Because the Lord was going to bring judgment on Israel for committing sin. What is sin? Sin is transgression of the law. Is not our people still committing sin to this very day? Our people are not keeping the law, statutes. I'm talking about 2/3 of our people. And yeah, we even got to warn the Lord's elect. Because in warning the Lord's elect, they're going to wake up. You know, some of them are going to become teachers. Some of them are going to become prophets. Some of them are going to become helps. Okay? Some of them are going to become secret disciples of Yahushua. Either way it goes, whether they be of the elect or of the 2/3, we have to give them warning. Okay? So, if a prophet was to say there's going to be martial law and earthquakes and race wars and civil wars, and people are going to be thrown into concentration camps and torture, and the families are going to be tortured in concentration camps, and there's going to be guillotines in there. People's going to be getting their heads chopped off, and there's going to be newly created beasts roaming the streets, and beasts of the field such as tigers, cougars, lions, bears, wolves, leopards, jaguars, panthers, you name it, roaming the streets. People's going to be plagued with monstrous apparitions to the point to where they're going to be too afraid to live in their own houses. And it's going to be earthquakes and tornadoes and natural disasters everywhere. And, you know, and then when Yahushua makes his grand return, he's going to be killing people. The angels, such as Michael and all of the other angels, are going to be zapping people to powder inside of what the world calls UFOs. When somebody tell you of these things, that's a warning. And not only is that a warning, that's a future prediction that's going to happen. So the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. There's not a pestilence going on right now. Okay, there's all kind of evil going on around the world. People getting kidnapped and being put on human sex trafficking sites, and people being kidnapped and being sacrificed to idols. Kids come up missing. They end up becoming victims of cannibalism, or they get their pineal gland taken out of them. They become victims of terror and torture and molestation. Especially by the Illuminati. That's evil right there. Okay? And this is proof that there's going to be prophets even in this time and age, in this generation. Daniel chapter 12, verse 13. And Daniel's not the only one that's here. There is a such thing as reincarnation. And all of the Lord's prophets and servants have been reincarnated. Now, some might still be some of them will be in the spirit world, okay? Because you got men that are of the elect that are in the spirit world right now, such as King Masha, Alba Bivens, okay? Brothers who died in the faith, such as the brother down in Jamaica who got stabbed up, okay? The brother Bon Loya, who died in his sleep. Okay. So there's going to be men that are of the elect that's going to be in the spirit world. Okay. And when Yahushua returns, they're going to be risen up with Yahushua. They're going to be the first ones to be risen up with Yahushua. Okay. So this is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 13. But go thou thy way till the end be. The end. Well, what's the end? That's talking about the last days. We are in the last days. For thou shalt rest, meaning what? Meaning that he's going to die. Okay, Daniel's going to die, which he did die during the, I would like to say, what was it? A little over 2,000 years ago, Daniel died. Okay, he went back to the spirit world. Okay, because when everybody goes back to the spirit world, they're in paradise. There ain't no wars going on out there. Ain't no torture going on. Ain't nobody being made fun of and you this and that, and people gotta worry about being terrorized up there. Nah, man. In the spirit world, everybody's at rest, including the wicked, which is the so-called white man, and the heathen nations. For thou shalt rest, your spirit shall return to the spirit world, and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. So Daniel is alive today. Okay, he's been reincarnated. The Lord have sent his spirit down into the body of a newborn baby, and he's been reincarnated. And guess what? He's doing exactly what he did a little over 2,000 years ago. Which what was Daniel? Daniel was a judge and a prophet. So what are you talking about? John the Baptist was the last prophet. No, he wasn't. And I just proved it. Okay? So there are many prophets alive today. And they're going to receive their reward, which is going to be a great reward when Yahushua returns. So Lord's will, you brothers were edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. But then I'm going to say Shalom, and so on to the next one.